Hi guys, so this is my media screencast and I did it on a vintage cigarette ad. Okay, so this ad is for Lucky Strike cigarettes entitled Do You Inhale? Created in 1932 by the American Tobacco Company. This ad has two pictures on it. One is a young man sitting and leaning over a young woman who is laying down and they are both holding cigarettes. And the second is of a cigarette pack in the bottom left corner. All of the images are hand drawn or painted. In big letters at the top, it says, Do you inhale? Which is obviously very eye catching and captivating because it's at the top and is in all capital letters. Then, in the bottom right, there's a block of text about what it means to inhale a cigarette. This vintage ad definitely pertains to the graphic and fashion trends of the 1930s because of its old vintage look and font use. The target audience of this ad would be regular smokers and people who are interested in smoking. I wouldn't say that there's an age limit to who this ad is aimed at, but I would say it is more aimed at young adults and above. Also, given the time period of the 1930s when smoking was acceptable starting at a young age, it could also be applicable to younger generations. Although, I can tell that this ad is aimed at smokers because they give statistics about whether or not smokers inhale knowingly or unknowingly. For example, the ad states 7 out of 10 smokers inhale knowingly, and the other 3 inhale unknowingly. With this in mind, it is evident that this ad is trying to persuade smokers that Lucky Strike cigarettes affect how you inhale tobacco compared to other companies. This would definitely be of interest to people who are looking into smoking or already do it regularly or occasionally. Any consumer who supports smoking would respond positively to this ad. It is clear that this tobacco company is trying to sell their product, so adults who enjoy smoking would likely to support this ad over people who don't support it. Any consumer who believes smoking is bad or detrimental in any way would obviously respond negatively to this ad. Although, given the popularity of smoking in the 1930s, not many people would be opposed to this ad compared to now. Like I mentioned earlier, at the top of this ad, there is a picture of a young man and a young woman holding the cigarettes, displaying a use of Kairos. Something that should be taken note of is the sex appeal that comes along with this image. The woman in the artwork is laying down, wearing a small dress, heels, and as well holding a cigarette. We cannot see her face in the picture, but she seems very relaxed and nonchalant. The man is sitting by her head and leaning over her while wearing a uniform of sorts. It is clear that this ad is using the image of the female to pull in more male attention, suggesting that smoking Lucky Strike cigarettes will gain attention from pretty women. This ad also employs pathos in terms of using sex cells to generate emotion, attraction, and appeal in men who want to buy these cigarettes. Nowadays, exploiting women as objects to sell products is looked down upon, but almost a century ago, using women as a marketing strategy was acceptable and worked. This is why it is clear that Kairos is being exercised, because that behavior and attitude was acceptable during a much more traditional era. In the chunk of the text at the bottom of the ad, there is a clear use of ethos by pertaining to the statistics. The text answers the question, Do you inhale? Outlining that Lucky Strike cigarettes are pure and clean. So when you inhale, you are inhaling a trustworthy and non-irritating product. At the end of the ad, it says, Do you inhale? More than 20,000 physicians, after Lucky's had been furnished them for tests, basing their opinions on their smoking experience, stated that Lucky's are less irritating to the throat than other cigarettes. It is clear here that ethos is being exercised to ensure trust in whoever is reading the ad that Lucky Strike cigarettes are more healthy for the consumers. Using quote-unquote 20,000 physicians, which obviously is a lot of physicians, allows consumers to trust that this product is well tested. Additionally, using scientific reason to back up their claim that their cigarettes are more safe allows consumers to want to try their product more. Finally, ensuring that their product is safe but also satisfying allows consumers to want to purchase the product. Also, logos is implemented throughout that same block of text by expressing reason and logic. For example, the ad states, Lucky Strike has dared to raise this much avoided subject because certain impurities concealed in even the finest, mildest tobacco leaves are removed by Lucky's famous purifying process. Lucky's created that process. Only Lucky's have it. It is clear in that quotation that Lucky's is using reason to persuade the audience that Lucky's is doing something that no other tobacco companies are, which is purifying their tobacco. It is logical and practical for Lucky's to point out that their cigarettes are better than other brands because they are well tested and purified. Using this logic can easily ensure trust within future and current consumers of their product. There is also a caption to this ad, the slogan for the Lucky Strike Company. The slogan reads, "It's toasted," both on the box and at the bottom of the paragraph in the bottom right corner. Now, from afar, I'm not really quite sure what it means. The slogan probably prevails to the time period of 1932, although I can interpret that it means that this product is catchy and widespread. The slogan most likely is what helps consumers remember the product. It also contains humor, which ignites a sense of familiarity in the consumer because humor only makes people more comfortable. Overall, looking at the ad in present day, it would probably have a more negative effect on consumers because people are more progressive, but there will still be people who support it and don't mind the sexualization of the woman on the cover. Also, this ad would just generally have a more negative impact on consumers nowadays because smoking is more scientifically proved as a bad habit and unhealthy for your body. The ad underpins ideals of sexism, smoking, and far-fetching scientific findings. This ad also raises questions on what sells consumers on products. Is it honesty, sexualization, credibility, or ethics? Unfortunately, according to this ad, it proves that the darker sides of consumerism win when it comes to advertising.